This fight has a lot of history behind it. There's a big backstory behind this. They've obviously sparred each other numerous times, talked about each other in interviews. I wouldn't say there's bad blood, but I expect that blood to get a little bit worse before fight night. And they're both supremely confident. What kind of tactics they both try and employ, because it is a little bit of a yin-yang fight. But we've seen recently that Riakporhe is becoming more patient and more of a boxer as well, not just a kind of brutal, wrecking ball. I've known Deion since 13, 14 years old. He's probably one of the main reasons that I even put on gloves, like he was fighting before anyone was fighting. I wasn't sure if Richard would take this fight. For Richard, this will get him more credibility than people think. Everyone in and around boxing understands how good Deion is. So although a lot of people may not have heard of him, they don't realize this is a dangerous and this isn't one of those dangerous opponents where everyone says it every fight week, this is a genuine dangerous opponent.
You got to stay there though.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I went over there so I can get my good side.
Oh, he's trying to get me off camera. October Red Boxing here with the one and only Dogwork Savage Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm tired. I just flew in today from Mexico. Quick little break. Straight to the media workout. Big fight. Big fight.
Speaking about your quick little break, we did see the comments on Twitter. So the washing up, I take it, went down well?
Nah, I'm in the doghouse. I'm definitely in the doghouse right now. As of this second, when I go home, I'm definitely in the doghouse because I left on short notice, pretty much no notice. And I'll pay for my sins. I'll pay for them.
Were the sins worth it? That's what the viewers want to know.
I'll let you know in the next coming days, man. Honestly, we'll see how much conversation there is in my house. But look, I've got work to do. I can't worry about all of that. Come straight back. Boxer, a big card, a change of opponent, big opportunity, big risk. Big risk. I know you can feel it as well. It's mad.
The thing is, I know a lot of the viewers were saying, oh, it's weird that both of them have ended up with injuries. Is this something that's kind of like set up?
No. Well, you lose one to COVID, one to injury, and it's just how it goes. Luckily, the two main cards, or the two main bouts, were cruiserweight bouts. So it was a pretty simple-ish solution. You just got to get the fighters to agree. Obviously, they've been preparing for different opponents, but this fight has a lot of history behind it. There's a big backstory behind this. They've obviously sparred each other numerous times, talked about each other in interviews. I wouldn't say there's bad blood, but I expect that blood to get a little bit worse before fight night. And they're both supremely confident.
And we talk about that and the backstory with those two. British cruiserweights, we love a domestic dust-up. I don't know what it is, but when the British fighters go head-to-head, when they fight, there's something about it. It just brings out the best of the British boxing public.
It's like it's local bragging rights, These are, what the pools of fighters are like. You end up sparring each other throughout the years and all of that, and one person thinks they've got the upper hand and the other one does, and there's a story here, and that person had this and all of that. But fights like this always gel because I think it's an ego thing on the line as well as just fighters. So I expect this fight to gel very quickly, very well. I'm super duper intrigued to see what kind of tactics they both try and employ, because it is a little bit of a yin-yang fight. But we've seen recently that Riakporhe is becoming more patient and more of a boxer as well, not just a kind of brutal, wrecking ball. So it's going to be super interesting to see how this fight goes.
And this fight, I'd say it's a little bit, well, not personal to you. You're in the boxing game yourself with Boxer. But you know the fighters and you know Deion. Yeah,
I've known Deion since 13, 14 years old. He's probably one of the main reasons that I even put on gloves, like he was fighting before anyone was fighting. I've known him for years, so I was just happy to see him get the opportunity. He's had a lot of bad luck, but I love Rich. I do like Rich, man. Like Rich is my guy as well. So as soon as that fight got made, first thing I did is shout both of them, and just like Rich will understand. Like there's a friendship there. but also Rich is a boxer fighter, so it puts me in a bit of a difficult position. But I'm a boxing fan as well, so I get to almost sit back and just appreciate this fight for what it is, man. It's going to be a very, very good fight. Both of them believe they can win it, otherwise they wouldn't have taken it, you know. As far as I'm concerned, I wasn't sure if Richard would take this fight because of the risk to reward. Yeah, the road that he's on, the risk to reward ratio. I thought, you know, he could easily have turned this down. Easily. Do you see what I'm saying? But he didn't. Deion as well, you know. Yes, he was meant to be fighting Mikhail Lawal, but he's ended up fighting Richard Riakporhe, you know, who's further on in his development at, you know, 3-4 weeks notice. It's not ideal for him either. So the fact that they've both taken this fight, credit to both of them.
And I want your opinion, someone that knows boxing, someone that's laced up gloves themselves. What will this fight mean for both of those guys?
Everything. For Richard, this will get him more credibility than people think. Everyone in and around boxing understands how good Deion is. So although a lot of people may not have heard of him, they don't realize this is a dangerous and this isn't one of those dangerous opponents where everyone says it every fight week, says this is a genuine dangerous opponent who's had misfortunes in his career. For Deion, it's the opportunity to, you know, 8 months ago he didn't have his boxing license, and now he's headlining on Sky against Richard Riakporhe, and essentially you can take his position if you win. So this is huge risk but huge rewards for both of them. I think this will be look, it's hard to say because they've both fought Sam Hyde. This cruiserweight division is no joke. Richard Riakporhe's cleaned out every domestic rival thus far, but there's always been a couple more. Deion's obviously unbeaten as well. This fight is, for my liking, probably, you know, who is the best cruiserweight in Britain. Maybe bar Lawrence Okoli, who's obviously on to world champion and on a world level. This is going to be a cracker. There'll be a part of me that doesn't want it to happen even, but there's the other part of me that's just a fan. That's just like, great fight, incredible.
I was like that. As soon as I saw the announcement, I was literally sat down, but I nearly fell down. It was one of those where, you know, you're screaming for both fighters because you're happy that they're pushing through, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're fighting each other. Yeah. Awkward.
So I don't know, it's going to be like, I just going to have to show no emotion. But it's going to be difficult. Look, I would love to see them both win. Honestly, it's just one of those things. It's a crazy fight, but we'll just have to see how it goes. Richard came out, he trained, he did his media workout in Southpaw. Interesting, very interesting. But you never know. It could be mind games. It could be he didn't put gloves on, didn't punch pads, just had a little move around. I know he wasn't actually necessarily even going to be here because he had sparring, but I think he did that early and then got here pretty late. So, you know, it's a good thing that he came. It's a big fight. You need, and Riakporhe's the name for this night. You know, this is his, you know, one of his crowning moments. He wanted to headline. He's headlining at Wembley. It's local. It's London. Yeah, I'm excited.
I think we all are, but out of all of the fights, because obviously it's a good card, it's a stat card, it's not just a headline, which is obviously stealing everything at the moment because of the fact that it will be a good fight, because it's a domestic dust-off. But other than that, what fight on the card are you looking forward to see as well?
Dan Aziz is going to be in a fight against a very good opponent, an unbeaten opponent as well. I'm hoping we might get that confirmed today. And that will be an interesting bout. Dan Aziz looked phenomenal against Jose Burton. So, you know, and he wants to be in that light heavyweight conversation. For me, the cruiserweight division and the light heavyweight division are the best two domestically. And there's an argument for both. I'll say cruiser and someone else will say light heavy, and then I feel like, yeah, you're right actually. But both of them are incredible. And it's time for everyone to fight each other, man. And I think we're beginning to get that because, you know, you look at things at the moment, you need dance partners. You really do. And to be able to grow and get credibility and to steal people's fans and get noticed, you need to be in good competitive fights.
And that is going to be, well, I'm hoping to hear who Dan Aziz's opponents, but to be fair, like I said, it's a stat card. There isn't a fight I'm looking and thinking, boring. all good fighters on there. It's nice to see the Azim brothers fighting again. I really like the fact that boxers putting them on cards together, sort of like they're progressing together. I like the fact that you're doing that all the time as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, they almost come as a pair, you know. They're boxed together from young ages growing up. It's only right that you get them both, you know. Eventually, I'm guessing they'll bear off onto their own paths, but for now, they should be on the same bill as each other. They're obviously moving at slightly different paces. Adam might look to step up a little bit faster, and Hassan might take it a little bit slower, but I have a feeling they'll both end up at the same destination. It's just, look, it's a good card. You've got Congo back, finally, after all these months out of the ring. He's back. Jamie Takivi, everyone's heard big things about him. Caroline Dubois. It's a good card, and we've got a good stable, and we're trying to get them out and active as often as possible.
And another one as well, Shannon Ryan. It's all right, I've got Sandy Ryan in my head, obviously the weekend. Shannon Ryan making a debut, 258 fighter. Another 258er that's come to boxer.
Yeah, 258 and boxer do good business. Look, 258 know what they're doing. They're a top company. They know what they're doing. They know what their fighters need. Shannon Ryan, she comes with a big reputation and big backing. Hopefully she has a good performance, because it's different doing things in the gym and doing things in sparring and all of that. Under the lights, it's a completely different pressure. But I'm sure she'll live up to her reputation.
And on that one, I will leave you to it. I know that you're tired. You don't just fly in from Mexico and then start doing interviews. Listen, we will catch up fight week, and as per usual, stay ready and a bit of dog work.
Dog work, always. I'm going to sleep.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.